Hi, I'm Emma, and I wanted to share a book with you called Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. This book is a realistic fiction book. This book is about Greg, who is 12 years old and lives with his mom, dad, and his brothers, Roderick and Manny. He writes in his diary and tells all about his life. In each page, he includes one of his illustrations. Greg begins his diary on the first day of middle school. Throughout the book, Greg faces many different problems that he shares in his diary. He uses a sarcastic tone when describing his problems. One of my favorite stories that Greg shares in his diary is when he goes to the haunted mansion with Riley and they get chased by a man with a chainsaw. Greg is the main character of the book, but there are also different characters that are introduced along the way. Like Riley. Riley is Greg's best friend, and he is very loyal to Greg. And then there's also Roderick, who is Greg's brother, and he has his own band in the book. And then there also is Manny. Manny is also Greg's brother, and Manny is littler than Greg. And then in one of the stories, Greg has a pretend spider, and he's daring Manny to eat it, and Manny does eat it, and then Manny tells his mom, Greg's mom, and his mom that Greg made him eat a spider because he thought it was a spider. And there is also Fregley. Greg and Riley try to avoid Fregley because they think he's weird. And it's hard for them to avoid him because he is he's in the same neighborhood as them, and now they take the longer way to school because they want to avoid him. And then there's also Greg's mom and dad. Greg's mom and dad take care of him. Greg wasn't always the nicest character. Like I said before, he was trying to avoid Fregley. And then also, in the book, he was trying to avoid his best friend, Rowley. And I didn't think that was really a good example. It isn't setting a good example because sometimes people might think that is, they might start doing that if the book says he's doing that, if they really like Greg. I did like the book in some parts because of the illustrations, and it was kind of funny. So here's what I would say about the book. Overall, I give it a 3 out of 5 stars because it's kind of mean. If you like illustrations, then you like this book, and if you like lots of words, you wouldn't really like this book because it doesn't have that many words, but it has a lot of pages. And if you want people to be treated fairly, then you wouldn't like this book. And that's it for MSC's book review for this week. Bye!
Bye!
This book is a realistic fiction
book.
And there is also Fregley. In this book, Greg writes